forward to seeing you on Wednesday. For now, here's a short video. Okay, group. If you don't know CREAC, you came to the right place. People usually learn CREAC eventually with me. You may struggle with it a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about the differences between CREAC and IRAC, and we're going to continue to go into this over upcoming classes. So, really, it's very close. The only differences are the two things you see in red here, is that IRAC has an issue statement at the beginning, and CREAC instead has just another conclusion at the beginning, and it has this E, explanation, or example. I like to think of it as example. The conclusion, pretty much the same as your old IRAC conclusions. I like a one-sentence conclusion. Since it's persuasive writing, it's going to be a one-sentence conclusion asserting that your client meets the legal standard, meets that element. The rule is going to be the same as before in your old IRAC. You're still doing rule synthesis. We'll have some refreshers on that in upcoming classes. Explanation. This is the part that's different. Explanation, again, I like to think of it as example from authority. This is important. None of your facts anywhere in explanation. They're examples in the form of mini narratives from case law. So mini narratives from authority cases. All right, so each explanation paragraph, you'll have a bunch of them below, all authority, none of your facts. They'll have these ingredients, tasty ingredients, topic sentences, yum, a transition saying for instance or for example, and then relevant details of that authority case in story form, along with the outcome of that case. So let's take a look at that. We've got a topic sentence that basically states the holding of the case. We're going to have a whole class on topic sentences. Right now, know that you need to have one and that it basically states the holding. You'll have a transition, for example, in Atlantic, for instance, in Rodriguez, something of that nature. And then you'll tell the story of the authority case, including facts that are relevant to that element, the element that you're discussing in that CREAC. Sometimes it'll be short like this. Sometimes it may be longer and more detailed. You want to include every relevant fact. And then finally, you'll say the outcome. Okay, so we're actually going to go in here and make this look more like a paragraph so that it makes a little bit more sense to you. So here we go. Notice I left out citations. Don't do that. I did that just for the sake of fitting it on the slide. It looks like actually I left one in, but pretend that after each of these sentences, like here we've got site to Atlantic, and it's the full site, even though that's not the full site. And we've got some ids here with pinpoints if you need them. So if this is not on this same page, you would have pinpoints. Also, sometimes students take me really literally. Yours is not going to be color-coded. I was just trying to delineate the different parts of it. So, here we've got our topic sentence in the dark blue. Citation, not a correct citation, in turquoise. In yellow, we have our transition. And then in red, we have the facts telling the story of the authority case. Ooh, let's have a bedtime story. The landowner left an unfinished hotel in a swimming and fishing area 200 feet from the beach and a half-mile from Lake Worth. After fishing, the child plaintiff and his friend decided to explore the hotel where the accident occurred. What it doesn't say here is the child actually fell down a hotel shaft and died. Pretty terrible. But that's not really relevant to the element. The question here is whether the landowner could reasonably expect that children would trespass. And so here we have children and they're trespassing. The fact that he fell and died would be relevant to another element. And then finally we have our outcome. The court determined that these facts provided sufficient evidence for the jury to determine whether the location was accessible enough for an attractive nuisance claim. So notice it's phrased this way because the court didn't decide that this showed attractive nuisance. Rather, they said, yeah, the jury can decide that these facts meet the location element for attractive nuisance. So that's why it's worded that way. Legal writing gives us these challenges. Your application, same as before, same as in IRAC. I'll have some preferences that you'll be learning and some more that we'll be teaching you about application as we move forward. And then finally, you have another conclusion at the end of your CREAC. It's basically the same thing that you said earlier when you began your CREAC. All right, we're going to have a whole bunch more exercises on this as we move through the semester. I look forward to seeing you all in class.